Art was meant to be experienced, not consumed. It was never meant to compete with algorithms, attention spans, and endless scrolling. I think we forgot how to look slowly because not everything meaningful can be understood in 3 seconds. The studio is simultaneously my happy place and frustrating place, but it is the space that has taught me how to sit with things. So much of the making process is uncomfortable, and I think that's where the art and the intrigue and the lessons and the discovery, and at its purest form, that uncomfortable doing is where the practice is. Making this piece has been a long process and something that has lived in the notes and margins of my note and sketchbooks for a long time. I think that I was sitting with the symbolism for a while, trying to understand what I wanted it to say, but it was actually when I started construction, started writing the poetry, that the comprehension started to come out. And it's always the same way with the process, and I forget to trust it because the instinct is to understand first and create later, but we really only start to understand through the creation. And I think it's why I get frustrated sometimes with the pace of things, because I really truly believe that an artwork is something that you're meant to sit with, live with, come back to. And so many of my favorite pieces in galleries and in my home, not my own works, but other artists' work throughout history, I find new experiences and new understanding when I view them at different ages, when I view them at different points in my life. Suddenly there's this new meaning to the work that wasn't there before, and I think you can't experience that in a scroll, in a quick swipe. It's so surface level. So I think being able to stay with something and return to something and sit with it a bit longer is just incredibly important for, our soul. Food for the soul, food for the brain, nourishment. I really think art is cultural nourishment and something that is just inherently human. Symbolism is so important within my practice. So much of my work does reference classical literature, historical paintings, and I think because I'm continuously using colour and decay and beauty, and because I'm using traditionally feminine archetypes and playing with switching these narratives on their head, the symbolism becomes increasingly important within the work. But again, I think that's something that comes with attention span of the artist and the maker, and also the attention span and the enjoyment of the viewer. Not necessarily, doesn't have to be a positive outcome, but just the intention to go and to have a conversation with an object, a painting, a photograph, an illustration, to go with that intention, I think allows there to be this moment of magic where an understanding that wasn't there before now exists. In the studio, I think an artwork evolves, and it exists in so many different stages. It exists in my brain, it exists as a scribble, it exists physically, sculpturally on my body, as a character, as a performance. It becomes two-dimensional again as it becomes digital, and I use all of my oil painting techniques to build how I used to paint back into a digital image, and then it inevitably becomes something physical again, whether that be on aluminium, on the side of a building, on a piece of fabric. So it really has this evolving, transitional feeling that somehow just feels really organic within my practice, and it's really interesting to see how it evolves over time.